Hey everybody, welcome to Intentionally Fit. This is Heather and today we're going to talk about perfection. So this is on a series that we're doing on how perfection might be hindering your health and fitness goals. So before we can talk about perfection, I really think that it's important that we talk about what perfect or perfection is. So let's look at, we're going to go on a little trip. I'm going to read the definition for you so that we can decide what it is that we're actually talking about. So perfect is lacking nothing essential to the whole, complete of its nature or kind, in a state of undiminished or highest excellence or without defect, completely skilled or talented in a certain field or area, or reproducing or corresponding to a type of original or accurate. Now, that is the adjective form. There is another form that is talked about that we don't typically use but this is the comparative form. And this is, I want you to latch in on this one. And it says that the perfect is used to mean ideal for the purposes. So let's go back a little bit further in ideal for the purposes. And I've been learning in a Bible study that I've been attending about perfection. And one of the things that they talked about is the differences between the Hebrew and the Greek view of what perfect really meant. So let me tell you a little bit about how they would view that differently. So the Hebrew nation were very concrete thinkers. They were very literal, very analytical, and they viewed the word perfect as attaining an end or purpose complete. So it would be a concrete version of being mature or complete in something. The Greek version, which we tend as Americans to lean towards Greek interpretations of things, they would view it as the idealistic and philosophical point of perfection, or an ideal level of perfection. So let's talk a little bit about how our ideal of perfection is influenced. So we have all these things around us. We have our family, we have our friends, we have the culture that is constantly screaming to us what is perfect or is not perfect, and we have ourselves. So all of these things influence our ideal or our perception of what perfect really is. So let's talk a little bit about what ideal means. So if we go to the dictionary and we look at the definition for ideal, first off, it's a conception of something in its absolute perfection. So we know that they work together, the ideal of perfection and this ideal we have. And one is regarded as a standout of excellence. But if you go down a little bit further and you use the adjective form of what ideal means, let me see if you get this. It says, existing only in the mind, imaginary, lacking practicality or the possibility of realization, of or pertaining to or consisting of ideas and mental images. So this creates our ideal of perfection, all of these things that are influencing us, our family, our friends, our culture, what we read, what we watch, and what we interpret as perfect things. So let's talk about how ideal and this idea that we have of perfection creates our illusion. Remember yesterday I said that perfection was an illusion. So let's go back, and here I am again. I'm going to read the definition of illusion. Number one, an erroneous perception of reality. Erroneous perception of reality. An erroneous concept or belief. The condition of being deceived by a false perception or belief. Something as a fantastic plan or desire that causes an erroneous belief or perception. So stay with me here because I know that was a lot of, just information. So here we have this perception, this ideal that we take from all of the things that we have around us, and we create this perfection or this ideal, which is a complete illusion. So we remember, illusion was a fantastic plan or a desire, and that it is erroneous in our belief or perception. So this is what happens, is we create this idea in our heads that we have to be this specific, perfect way. We can't miss any workouts. We have to be perfect with all of our form. We have to make sure that we can do the entire workout the same way that the instructor who's been working on this for years has been doing. We create this thing, and then what happens is when we don't attain this false perception of reality, then we defeat ourselves and we think that we have to start back over. See, this is not attainable. Remember, we said that it was in our mind. So bear with me a little bit. There's a little bit more Bible stuff in here, so please stick with me here. The Bible says that we should take every thought captive, and that we should go about every day renewing our mind. So those two things tell me that we can change this false perception of perfection in our lives. That means that every time that in your head it screams, you can't do this, you have to start over, or you've messed up, you might as well wait till Monday to start over. Those things are false perceptions of reality. So what I want you to do is I'm going to encourage you that every time those kind of thoughts pop into your head, every time, I want you to grab onto that and say, this is not true. This is not true. I am not a failure. I have not destroyed everything that I've worked for. I may have taken a step backwards, but I'm going to choose the next step is to move forward, not back to the beginning. We're going to be the video game that allows you to save your progress. I think it's important that we think that we can start right where we made that mistake. We don't have to go back to the beginning and do it all over again. You just take the next step forward to where you are. I know you can do this. Perfection is an illusion. Remember, it's a false perception. And I'm going to talk a little bit tomorrow about one of those things that really contribute to this perfection illusion thing that we have going on. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about defeating it where it is. I want you to think about just taking the next step forward, okay? Don't go back if you mess up. You say, okay, I messed up. One step forward gets you further than you were. So let's give ourselves some grace. And we're going to talk about that too. I want you to grab hold of those erroneous beliefs and say to yourself, that's not true, that's not who I am, and that's not what I'm going to be. I'm going to make a choice to move forward. I know you guys can do it. I have faith in you, and I know that things are going to go well for you. But I know that it's a mental challenge that you're going to have to get over, and it's going to take a lot of practice. It's going to take a lot of practice. I've been doing this for 10 years, and every day I have to make a choice. Am I going to get a little bit better, or am I going to feel defeated and believe the erroneous belief system? I don't want to do that. It's no fun. There's no joy in it. And I want you to have joy, and I want you to feel encouraged. I know you can do it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.